So there we are. Wow. There's ACME's network today, 2014. And Susan is finally happy, I think. Susan's finally happy. She's got what she needs, but now Joe's not happy. Because Joe understands that this business is really growing. He's already has plans for another branch office and another retail store someplace else in town. And he's got big plans. And so he looks at his network and he brings in his network professional and says, look, help me take a look at my network. I really want to consider how we can make this thing better. Because honestly, it's kind of cobbled together over time. That first switch I bought way back when is still sitting out there doing its job down on the first floor of our home office. And so the Network Pro comes in and they take a close look, and there it is. There's all the network functions, the network products, the network hardware, all the connectivity. And honestly, it's kind of cobbled together. It's kind of just cobbled together over time. And so you may think, well, golly, couldn't we do better? Yes, we can. And so the Network Pro gives Joe some options here. So here's an option. So you'll notice a while ago we had a switch on the first floor, a switch on the second floor, another switch for access points, and that layer 3 switch standing there. Well, the new design gets rid of 2 complete pieces of hardware, moves the layer 3 switch upstairs, because it's a switch and a layer 3 switch, and it connects the VLANs together, and we connect our access points to whatever appropriate switch is close to. Now that's an alternate design that would give us less hardware, less to manage, less to go wrong. You may think, well, why didn't we do that to start with? You could have, but networks are rarely built that way. Most of the time, networks get built just the way Joe and Susan's network was, which was from one little bit. It gets cobbled together over time. You add and build and grow based on the network hardware that you have. But this is a pretty good alternate design for the networking fabric back at the home office. Now, let's take a look here. So the next thing that the Network Pro does is right there in the middle. A while ago, before we had a router box, a firewall box with VPN, and we had an SBC. Now, the Network Pro says, look, we can put all of those things into one box. It's called an all-in-one, right? It's an all-in-one box. It's a router, firewall, VPN, SBC, all in one box. And it really simplifies the operation now, and really good for a company the size of Joe and Susan's today. The next thing he does is the same thing down in the branch office and at Susan's house. Puts an all-in-one box down at the retail store. And at Susan's house, he brings in this box with a router, a firewall, a VPN, and the Wi-Fi, all in one nice little clean box. So we start to consolidate these devices now across the network. Finally, the Network Pro says, look, you have these 2 carrier relationships. Honestly, that's not very wise. We can consolidate those into one carrier relationship. And that one single carrier can give our simple connection down to Susan for her internet connection. That one carrier can give us the connection for the retail store, and it can give us our SIP trunk and our data trunk back for the main router back at the home office. Very straightforward, much simpler network that you see right there. And it would take some time to implement that over and some expense, but ultimately you have a much better network, much easier to maintain, even faster, slicker, much nicer. And that's how the network might actually look.